On Everett's team tonight, you know him from Kids in the Hall, Fargo, and News Radio. Fun fact, he was the one who first said to Joe Rogan, hey, you ever heard of these things called podcasts? It's Dave Foley. And joining Michael, she's the representative from Texas' 30th Congressional District. And if she's got good posture, that's because lately, she's the only Democrat with a spine. It's Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett.
Right. I'd like to point out to the audience at home, they will not know this, but when Jasmine entered the studio, this whole audience gave her a standing ovation. First time. And then when Dave Foley came in, they didn't do shit.
That's not entirely true, Michael. Three Canadians stood.
All right, let's get into the biggest stories of the week. Amber and Dave, I'll start with you. I'm going to show you a clip package referencing a major news event from this week. You look at the package, tell me, what is the story?
Helicopters. Where aren't they?
That's a Russian flag.
And that's Ukraine.
Ukrainian flag. There's a contract,
no.
There was a deal that was going to be signed between the United States and the Ukraine. They're calling it a deal. It was more of like an extortion to sign over the rare earth minerals.
Vibranium.
Yeah. Yes.
You had points right up to vibranium. Yes, that is the story. Mr. Zelensky, the Ukrainian president, came to Washington to nail out a deal over rare earth minerals, and then it went completely off the rails. Now, if y'all don't understand the terms of the deal, basically America go, we're gonna get Russia off your ass, and in exchange, you keep your land, but you give us half of anything that is on the land, the natural gas and oil, whatever you find. Like Congresswoman, that's like, if I go, all right, I'm gonna get the burglars out your house. But when you find $100 in your house,
You're gonna split it.
Give me $50.
You need 50. Yeah, no.
That's a good deal, right? That's a good deal.
No.
I mean, whatever's in your house, half.
No.
All right, let me ask you it another way. All right. I'm gonna keep the Russians from tearing up your house. Just give me half of what's in the house.
No. No.
Okay, let me say it another way. I'm gonna
no
keep
way
the
to
Russians
say
from tearing up your house. You keep your house, and you keep half of what's in your house. No, still no. Okay,
No.
all right. So if we're playing deal or no deal, it looks like no deal.
All right.
Question off the top. How did Trump greet the Ukrainian president, who is, as of right now, still America's ally?
A chest bump? It's not impossible.
Not.
Trump greeted President Zelensky with a customary American negging.
Ready, close? How are you? Ready, shut?
He's all dressed up today.
Bitch, my country is at war. I need to be dressed in war shit. I can't go. You know the Men's Warehouse, the first thing the Russians bombed in Ukraine.
But traditionally, diplomatic attire requires a tie that covers your balls.
You want me to be tough? I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough.
You're right, his tie is covering his body.
And may I say, did you not find that comforting?
If Trump is bad cop, who was in there playing good cop?
Surely Secretary of State Marco Rubio eased the tensions and stood up for our ally Zelensky, right?
Oh, Michael. Oh, no, but...
No, I'm saying the Secretary of State, who is sitting right next to the Vice President, surely he calmed the waters and said, you know what? You're both pretty. Surely he did that, right?
Nope.
No.
It was President J.D. Vance who rolled out the Ohio hospitality like this.
For 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
So you got Trump out the gate going, your clothes ain't shit, and I can be tough. Then you got J.D. going, you should be grateful, we trying to do some diplomacy with your ass. How do you all think Zelensky responded?
Zelensky don't have bone spurs. Zelensky decided he was gonna be in them streets. So I believe that Zelensky probably said it with his chest, whatever he had to say.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So he occupied our parts, big parts of Ukraine, part of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014. Those time was Obama, then President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now the President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people.
You know what?
Ooh.
Facts are rude.
Well, sometimes you got the Ukraine-splain shit to people. Because you're not going to correct me on that. Pardon me, but I will remember the day Russia invaded my whole ass country.
He came in, laid it out, and tied them up, in their own words, in his fourth language.
Yeah.
That is how easy it is.
Yeah.
Zelensky said what he had to say. Here was Vance in response.
With respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Oh, thank you for letting your dog shit in my yard. Thank you. Now, JD told Zelensky, you should be thanking me. Now, how you think old Zelensky responded to that?
I'm pretty sure he realized the error of his ways.
Here,
and
take 80% of our natural wealth.
Zelensky clapped back with this.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
Have you ever been there before? Have you been to Ukraine? To which J.D. Vance said,
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring people, you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President.
if you watch it, you've been there. I watched Star Wars, man. I've been to the Dagobah system. I've been to Tatooine. I've been there. Have you been there?
Yeah, I've seen the stories. I didn't have the time to read them.
And I'm sure that, you know, they have a trip planned, because obviously Joe Biden did it, so of course they're gonna walk and see what's going on.
Yeah. As soon as there's a Trump Tower they can stay at.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So now, as wild as all of those moments were in the meeting so far, what was the exact moment when things went off the rails? Because that was on rails.
Zelensky tried to say that you may not be feeling the effects of this now, but you will in the future feel the ramifications of what's happening, to which Trump, I believe, said, don't you tell me how I feel.
That's basically what it was. It was this moment right here.
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless.
that.
You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on
position to
this question.
dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly what
this.
you're doing.
I'm not
You're
dictating.
in no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
I understand why Trump snapped right there. Because, no, I understand it, like, psychologically, right? Because, like, action movies have made us believe that accent is sinister. And so when you go, you will feel the effects. It's like, wait a minute. We are American. Don't you tell me. I got the missus.
Yeah.
If you want to know how Zelensky's handling all of this, just watch his eyebrows anytime you see him on camera in America. Just look at his eyebrows right here.
They respect me. Let me tell you.
My eyebrows get me in trouble too.
It's like in a cartoon where your eyebrows raise up off of your head. That's how high the mugs got.
There was a metaphor Trump kept coming back to over and over.
He said, you don't have good cards. You're not playing good cards. And Zelensky took some offense to that.
He had the nerve to say, we're not playing cards.
Imagine that.
And pointed out they were, what was it called? Fighting a war.
Here's the exact analogy Trump kept making.
You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having
not
cards.
playing
But
cards.
right now, you don't.
I'm very
You're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're
I'm
gambling
the
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War III.
What are you speaking about? What is this? Why are you such an asshole to me?
As things got tense between Trump and Zelensky, J.D. Vance did this.
Have you said thank you once this
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting,
today,
have you said thank
even
you?
to-
Ooh.
This is very, like, it is embarrassing for J.D. Vance. Like, I knew that he was gonna, I don't know how else to say it, dick ride. It's beyond what you could imagine. He didn't even say thank you. He's gonna get you.
What was the moment after this?
There's more?
Where,
I know, right? Seriously.
where the meeting really, really went off the rails. See, that was just off the rails. That was on the rails, off the rails, and then it went really, really off the rails.
A bear came in and fought everyone? What else?
It was this exchange where Zelensky landed a punch. Let's see if y'all can see where it exactly happened.
You invited
If
me
you
to
didn't have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3
okay?
days. I heard it from Putin. In 3 days.
This feel like White House Monday Night Raw. And here comes Zelensky. Zelensky off the top rope. Oh, my God. Now, to be fair, it wasn't all fighting. Everything wasn't all fighting. The meeting did have a moment of existential reflection. What was that touching moment? Any guesses over here?
No.
I mean, the only touching moment would be the meeting ending.
It was when a reporter asked, quote, what if they make a ceasefire deal and Russia breaks the deal? Here's our president's response to that question.
What if anything? What if a bomb drops on your head right now?
I think in this age of nihilism, it takes great courage for the President of the United States to come out and say, it's all random, we're fucked, we can't do anything. God hates us.
I think he was making the point, and it's a good point, that Vladimir Putin is a man who keeps his word.
Yes.
Duh.
Michael.
What?
Are you angling to be accepted into the New World Order? Comrade Michael.
Moscow is beautiful this time of year. It's beautiful.
But is it worth driving a cyber truck?
Okay, new question. When did the meeting really, really, really go off the rails?
Oh, wow.
No, really,
I can't.
really. It was
I
off,
can't.
it was on the rails, and it was really off the rails. It was really off the rails. Yeah, really, really, really
Yeah.
off the rails.
See, watching this is all I've done today.
I can't.
It was this moment when Trump started kind of unspiraling.
They didn't respect him. They didn't respect Obama. They respect me. Russia. Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. Democrat scam. Hunter Biden's bathroom.
He's got a point.
You gotta play the hits, baby. When you start bombing with new material, you go back to the hits.
Yeah.
Now, how did this meeting end?
Okay, so it did end.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
Came in, sat down. You should thank us.
Everybody gave each other one gentle kiss. I'm just gonna keep hoping. You can't kill my hope, Roy.
Oh, give me time. Here's Trump pulling the ripcord on the meeting.
The problem is, I've empowered you to be a tough guy. And I don't think you'd be a tough guy without the United States. This is going to be great television, I will say that.
Real housewives of the government. Now, I will say the one good thing about this meeting is that when they do that reunion show with Andy Cohen, it's going to be good.
Yeah, but it should have ended with Zelensky snatching his wig. That would have been appropriate. Yeah.
So Fox put a pretty good spin on what happened. Here's what Fox News said.
The lunch that they were supposed to have is sitting right outside the hallway, and the press staffers are going to be eating that lunch.
What do you all think the consequences are going to be from all of this?
It's going to be really bad. I mean, I do believe that Putin did win, right? Like, he literally has the president of the United States under his finger.
I would like to point out, I don't think it's his finger that Trump is under. I can see where you might make the mistake.
It's still, where does your mind go? Places? Michael and Jasmine.
Okay.
I will show you all a clip, and you all tell me what is the story.
Alrighty. That's the Capitol. That's where you work. And that's a calculator.
Yep.
And they're saying
Are
yes.
we voting? We're voting, yes. I think it's got to do with our budget vote. It didn't go too well for us, us Americans. Didn't go too well for us.
This week, the House just barely approved President Trump's budget resolution, which is the first step towards enacting his legislative agenda. Technically, it was called Resolution 14, but what other name have people been using?
Project 2025?
A good guess. Yeah. A good ass guess. But let's hear the answer.
One big, beautiful bill.
One big, beautiful bill.
A big, beautiful bill?
A big, beautiful bill, okay? Like, that's the president's phrase, and I've adopted it. In fact, I have it tattooed on my chest here. I could show you.
Big Beautiful Bill is Bill de Blasio's Tinder username.
Who's your best Republican friend?
Oh, I don't want to out him.
There was one sole Republican who voted no on the Big Beautiful Bill. Does anyone know? Is it the one that like you?
The representative was Thomas Massey.
Thomas Massey from Kentucky, seen here watching the girl of his dreams marry somebody else. Here he is before the vote.
If the Republican plan passes under the rosiest assumptions, which aren't even true, we're going to add $328 billion to the deficit this year. Why would I vote for that?
Congresswoman, why don't the other Republicans know math?
You talk about people having a backbone, right, on my side. It ain't a spy to be found on their side, in the House or the Senate. These are the facts. You're claiming that you're doing this because you want to make sure that we reduce spending. No, you want to make sure people go hungry. You want to make sure people don't have health care. But you want to make sure that people that are spending $60 million on their second wedding got another $60 million to spend for their third wedding. Like, this isn't about, like, doing what's right by the American people. And the one thing that I will say is I disagree with his overall, but I agree with the fact that he at least stood for something. And the rest of them don't stand for what they claim to be.
Can you give that same exact speech to Hakeem Jeffries the next time you see him?
Y'all cannot beat up on my leader!
Now, there was another interesting thing about that clip just now from Thomas Massey. Did anybody catch the nice little piece of symbolism on his wardrobe? What was he wearing to let everybody know he's concerned about the deficit?
A crop top? He doesn't want to spend.
Yeah.
He can't afford the second half. He's saving money.
He was wearing a debt clock lapel pin. Give me that pin one more time.
Oh, yes. Oh. Yes, he does.
A debt clock pin, a little badge that he designed that displays the current national debt.
Yeah.
Nothing makes women run away from you faster than having math on your chest. What did the budget resolution that was passed this week say about Medicaid?
Medicaid's for losers?
It said absolutely nothing. Watch.
Do a word search for Medicaid on the resolution that we passed last night. You will not find it.
Now, Americans might need their Medicaid soon because earlier this week, Elon Musk delivered some exciting medical news at Trump's first official cabinet meeting. Musk admitted that at least one DOGE cut was a mistake.
So, for example, with USAID, one of the things we accidentally canceled very briefly was Ebola, Ebola prevention. I think we all want Ebola prevention.
Now that's the accent I hear and I start running.
Anybody scared of catching Ebola?
Yeah.
Yes. I don't want it.
I could beat it.
I got a whole room full of ivermectin.
Turns out everybody should be very concerned about Ebola because even though Musk says Ebola prevention has been restored, officials say that's not true. USAID said that, quote, the teams and contractors that would be deployed to fight an Ebola outbreak have been dismantled.
They dismantled contractors?
You saw the chainsaw.
At that same cabinet meeting, President Trump weighed in on all of the DOGE firings. He said this.
It's possible that a lot of those people will be actually fired. And if that happened, that's okay, because that's what we're trying to do. This country has gotten bloated and fat and disgusting.
Now, was he?
What he knows.
I was gonna say, was he talking about himself or the country?
Do you know that? Is that the Secret Service name for Trump? Big bloated fat disgusting? Big bloated's on the move. Big bloated's on the move. Big bloated headed to the Oval. Now, with all of these cuts happening with DOGE and the mistakes being made, everybody's, of course, asking the question, who the hell is in charge of DOGE? Who is the person pulling the strings? Who's the puppet master of DOGE?
Well, it's obviously Elon Musk.
I'm with you.
That can't be true because Trump said he isn't. And why would he lie?
The administrator of the Department of Government Efficiency is actually Amy Gleason, seen here hearing the words, actually, I am the manager. But a lot of people are wondering whether or not Amy's really all in on DOGE. What makes people question Amy's dedication to the job?
That she runs a TJ Maxx?
Oh my God, I was gonna say the same thing. I was gonna say she looks like a Maxinista.
Yeah.
A lot of people are questioning Amy's dedication to DOGE. Here's the reason why.
When we reached her by phone yesterday, Gleason said she was in Mexico and declined to further comment. Adriana?
All right, I wonder what she's doing in Mexico.
Why Mexico? First 100 days of the new administration. Interesting.
Maybe official business.
Could be.
Could be, maybe not.
Yes, the New York Times confirmed this week Gleason was scheduled to be on vacation in Mexico. You know what? I'm gonna defend old TJ Maxx on this one. DOGE firing people don't even know they're getting fired. How you even know you got hired for DOGE? You just got the job all of a sudden out the blue, and you know she put that deposit down for that Mexico trip 2 years ago. This is not a person that gets travel insurance. Congresswoman, how do you think the constituents are responding to the
they're not feeling it. Like, the Republicans are like, guess what? We don't want to do this anymore. We're not going home. We are hiding from our constituents because they are coming out the woodwork.
Let's take a look at a recent town hall hosted by Wisconsin Rep. Scott Fitzgerald.
There is no law, and there is no order, and there are no consequences. Nobody is held to account.
The end result of the fraud and abuse that has been discovered already?
They booed that boy like the Apollo. Oh, my God. Here's what happened down in Georgia.
When you talk about tyranny, when you talk about presidential power, I remember having the same discussion with Republicans when Biden was elected.
Let's get through this. Congressman, hey.
Yeah. I've seen Game of Thrones too, thank you.
Game of Thrones is a wrong reference to make, because after they said shame, 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 they threw shit water on that list. Congresswoman, you've seen these two clips of these town halls of these GOP leaders who have gone to meet the constituents and try to sell them on President Trump's plan. And if these town halls have gone pretty bad, how do you think GOP leaders are now responding to their constituents?
They are understanding, and they are responsive, and they cannot wait to get back to them.
Congresswoman, last week, Congressman Lawler sat there and lied to my face. And now you're doing the same thing.
I'm sorry.
You're gonna get a letter.
Amber, let me pose a hypothetical question to you. Let's just say you're a GOP elected official, and you just saw these two town halls go terrible, and your town hall is coming up tomorrow. How would you prepare for that town hall?
I would also go in there, I would get my ass handed to me, and then I would go to Trump and be like, look what I did for you, mama.
Now, that's one strategy, but a lot of GOP officials have responded to voter pushback by just canceling their town hall meetings altogether.
That's a good idea. That's a really good idea. Yeah.
Is there any reason for an elected official to not have face-to-face communication with the people that elected them?
You know, what's really sad is that people are thirsty for their actual representatives to do just that, be their representatives and look out for them. And right now, the cult mentality that exists that's known as Donald Trump and his followers, it is preventing even his followers. Have y'all seen the tweets and stuff? Literally, collectively, they are hurting their own constituents. They always want to say food stamps is about the black people, right, in the urban centers. And the facts are that when we look at rural America, they use more SNAP benefits than anybody. And guess what? We talked about Medicaid, but we didn't talk about the fact, it's not mentioned in the bill either, but they're also going after SNAP. And the way that they couched it is, for ag, they said, fine over $400 billion. Well, that's SNAP. And then for energy and commerce, they said, well, fine over 808. That means it's Medicaid. So we know what they meant, but they didn't want to put it in writing. And instead, what they did is they went out and lied.
Can I just make a suggestion? I would be more than happy for the four of us to not say another word and just give you the rest of the hour.
There's one Democrat that stood up to Elon Musk this week. Who was that Democrat? I think it was Jasmine Crockett. Jasmine Crockett.
We're going to go with Jasmine Crockett.
Okay, I'm going to say Hakeem Jeffries. Who was it?
Here's the answer.
If you could speak directly to Elon Musk, what would you say?
Fuck off.
The story is, whatever's in the big, beautiful bill, we must introduce legislation to keep Mike Johnson's shirt on. Ebola might go down as the biggest oops, my bad in history. And Democrats have finally settled on an effective message.
Fuck off.
We'll be right back.